Welcome to Divine Therapy Incorporated. Before we begin this journey together, I want you to find a place of absolute and total sanctuary. This is a time for your soul to rest, a time where the heavy clocks of the world stop ticking. Adjust your position until your body feels weightless. Close your eyes and visualize a soft, indigo light wrapping around you like a warm blanket. Today, we are going to walk through a story about the infinite value of your existence. This is a story for the dark night of the soul. It is for the moments when the pain feels so loud that it drowns out the future. It is for anyone who has ever wondered if their story even matters. This is the story of a woman named Elara and the Hall of the Two Timelines. Elara lived in a city of grey stone where the fog never truly lifted. For a long time, she had been carrying a heavy, invisible chain around her neck. This chain was made of every disappointment, every loss, and every cruel word she had ever received. It had grown so heavy that she could no longer look up at the stars. She could only see the pavement beneath her feet. Elara had reached a point where she felt that her light had gone out. She believed that she was a flickering candle in a vast wind, and that it would be easier for everyone if she simply let the wind take her. She felt that her life was a book with no more pages, a song that had lost its melody. She felt that the void was calling her name, promising a rest that the world could not give. One night, as she stood at the very edge of the great bridge, a figure appeared beside her. He did not look like an angel, he looked like an old librarian, with eyes that held the history of 1,000 years. He didn't tell her to go back. He didn't judge her. He simply pointed toward a door that stood in the middle of the bridge, a door made of shimmering, translucent light. He whispered to her, "Elara, before you make a choice that cannot be unmade, I want to show you the architecture of what you leave behind. I want to show you the Hall of the Two Timelines." Elara stepped through the door and found herself in a vast, silent corridor that stretched into infinity. On the left side of the hall, the walls were dark and cold. On the right side, the walls glowed with a soft, amber warmth. The librarian explained that these were the two versions of the world. The left side was the world as it would be if she left tonight. The right side was the world as it would be if she stayed. They walked to the left side first. Elara saw a house she recognized, her sister's home. She saw her sister sitting at a kitchen table, 3 years into the future. The room was silent. Her sister was looking at an old photograph of Elara, and her eyes were filled with a permanent, haunting shadow. Elara saw that her sister had stopped painting, the hobby she used to love, because the joy of color reminded her too much of the sister she couldn't save. She saw her nephews growing up with a quiet fear in their hearts, learning that people they love can simply disappear. Elara saw a ripple of grief that didn't end with her, it traveled through her family like a slow-moving poison, turning their bright days into shades of grey. She saw the people she hadn't met yet, a friend she was supposed to comfort in 2 years, a stranger she was supposed to help in 5, and she saw them struggling alone because she wasn't there to hold the door open for them. The librarian then led her to the right side of the hall. The amber wall began to pulse with life. Elara saw the same kitchen table, but the atmosphere was completely different. Her sister was laughing, showing Elara a new canvas she had painted. Elara saw herself sitting there, older, with silver in her hair and a deep, quiet strength in her eyes. She looked at this future version of herself and saw a woman who had walked through the fire and come out gold. This Elara was holding a child that didn't exist in the other timeline. This child was her own, a daughter with eyes like the morning sea. Elara watched as the future her lived through moments that seemed small but were infinitely precious. She saw herself eating a piece of warm bread on a sunny morning. She saw herself walking through a park and feeding the birds. She saw herself at 40, 50, and 70 years old. She saw that the pain she felt right now, the crushing weight of the chain, was eventually transformed into a deep well of wisdom. She saw that because she had survived this dark night, she became a lighthouse for dozens of others. She saw her future self sitting with a young girl who felt just as lost as she did tonight, and she heard herself saying, "I know it hurts, but I promise you, the sun is coming back." The librarian spoke softly. "You see, Elara, your life is not just yours. You are a cornerstone. If you remove yourself, the entire building of the future shifts. There are songs that will never be sung if you don't sing them. There are people who will never find their way home if you aren't there to guide them. The pain you feel is the birth of a new kind of strength. You are currently in the darkest hour before the dawn, but the dawn on the right side of this hall is the most beautiful thing you will ever see." Elara looked back at the dark timeline. She saw the void, the emptiness, and the silence. Then she looked at the amber timeline. She saw the struggle, yes, but she also saw the laughter, the love, and the legacy. She realized that the parallel person who just skipped the pain was actually the one who stayed. The success was not in being perfect, the success was in being present. She realized that her future self was counting on her. That little girl with the eyes of the morning sea was counting on her. Elara turned back to the librarian. The chain around her neck felt different now. It didn't feel like a weight dragging her down, it felt like an anchor that connected her to the stories she had yet to live. She whispered, "I want to stay. I want to build the amber timeline." As soon as she spoke the words, the hall of the two timelines dissolved, and she was back on the bridge. The fog was still there, and the wind was still cold, but Elara was no longer looking at the pavement. She looked up. For the first time in a year, she saw a single star peeking through the clouds. She took a deep, shaky breath, and then another. Each breath was a victory. Each step back toward the city was a triumph. If you are listening to this right now, and the shadows are closing in, I want you to know that you are currently standing in the hall of the two timelines. The mind tells you that your absence wouldn't matter, but the mind is a liar when it is in pain. The truth is that you are a vital, irreplaceable piece of the universe. There is a version of you 10 years from now who is so deeply grateful that you decided to stay tonight. There are people you haven't met, children you haven't held, and sunrises you haven't seen that are all waiting for you. Think of the parallel you. Think of the version of you that chooses to take one more breath, and then one more after that. That person is a hero. That person is a survivor. You don't have to fix your whole life tonight. You don't have to solve every problem. You only have to stay. You only have to keep the door to the amber timeline open. Take a very slow, deep breath. Feel the air as a gift from the future. Imagine that future version of yourself, the one who is happy, the one who is healed, reaching back through time and taking your hand. They are saying, "Thank you. Thank you for being brave. Thank you for choosing us." At Divine Therapy Incorporated, we hold the light for you when yours feels dim. We know the weight of the chain, but we also know the glory of the garden that grows from this soil. You are not alone on this bridge. We are here, and the divine is here, and the future is here. Your story is not finished. The best chapters haven't even been written yet. Stay in this indigo light for a long time. Feel your heartbeat. It is a drum, beating out a rhythm of resilience. You are a miracle. You are a treasure. You are the architect of the amber dawn. Carry this truth into your night. You are worth every breath. Until next time, stay in the hope and remain in the light.